Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. There is no entertainment in the galaxy more brutal, lucrative, or popular than the Gara Colosseum. Located on a neutral moon deep in the lawless Traverse sectors, it is a massive amphitheater carved into the planet's crust, where the rich and powerful come to watch the galaxy's deadliest creatures tear each other apart. The game masters of Gara, tall, elegant Xylosians with a taste for cruelty, prided themselves on finding the rarest specimens. When a Terran deep space hauling tug was captured by slavers, the game masters were intrigued by the crew. They were small, bipedal mammals with soft skin and no natural weaponry, no claws, no venom, no armored carapace. They looked like prey. A curiosity, High Game Master Valerius noted, looking at the captured human, Captain Leo Gravedigger Vance in the holding pens. Look at it. It sits quietly. It does not roar at the bars like the Vargas beasts. It is dense, yes, but small. We shall throw it into the preliminary rounds as an appetizer. The odds against it surviving 5 minutes are 10,000 to 1. The alien crowd, trillions of beings watching via hyperlink, place their bets accordingly. They bet on the towering, four-armed reptilians. They bet on the silicon-based rock crushers. Nobody bet on the little soft human sitting in the corner, slowly sharpening a piece of scrap metal on the concrete floor. They didn't know that Leo Vance wasn't just a tug captain. He was a retired combat engineer from Earth, a high-G death world where gravity tries to crush you, the weather tries to drown you, and the animals try to eat you. He was used to moving heavy things in bad neighborhoods. The gates of the Colosseum opened with a grinding roar. Leo walked out onto the blood-soaked obsidian sand. The arena was massive, the crowd noise a deafening wall of alien shrieks and roars. Across the pit stood his opponents, 3 Vargas berserkers, 8-foot-tall reptilian nightmares with serrated forearm blades. The game master announced over the loudspeakers, "Behold, the Terran runt. Watch how quickly the soft flesh breaks." The first Vargas charged, covering the distance in seconds, swinging its forearm blade for a decapitating strike. Leo didn't try to block it with elegance. He used Deathworld density. He stepped inside the alien's guard and slammed his shoulder into its midsection. On a standard gravity world, this would be a nudge. But Leo's bone structure was 3 times denser than the Vargas, and his muscles were tailored for fighting gravity every second of his life. The impact was like the Vargas hitting a concrete bollard at full sprint. The alien's ribs shattered with the sound of dry branches snapping. It collapsed, gasping for air it couldn't inhale. The crowd went silent for a microsecond. The second Vargas roared and swung. Leo caught the alien's wrist. The alien tried to pull away, but Leo's grip, developed from years of torquing hydraulic valves on a high-G world, was unbreakable. "My turn," Leo grunted. He twisted. The Vargas's arm snapped at the elbow, the bone tearing through its scales. Leo then used the alien's own momentum to swing it into the third attacker, knocking them both into a spiked pit trap. It wasn't martial arts. It was industrial violence. It was ugly, efficient, and brutally fast. He broke them," Valerius whispered in his private box. "The readings? His skeletal density is off the charts. His adrenaline levels are toxic to most life forms. He is not a prey animal. He is a compact murder engine." The crowd, realizing they were losing money, began to roar with bloodlust. They wanted the human dead. The game masters, desperate to regain control of the show, activated the arena mutators. The floor of the arena began to shift. Pillars of magma spewed from vents. Spinning blade traps rose from the sand. And then the main gate opened for the grand champion. It was a Kragan Prime, a biological tank the size of a shuttlecraft. It had 6 armored legs, chitinous plating that could deflect small arms fire, and a maw that dripped concentrated acid. It was the undefeated king of Gara, a beast that had eaten entire squads of elite warriors. The Kragan roared, a sound that shook dust from the stadium lights. It charged at Leo, a mountain of angry muscle. Leo didn't run. He looked at the terrain. He was an engineer. He didn't see obstacles, he saw tools. As the Kragan lunged to crush him with its massive front claws, Leo dove toward one of the active magma vents. He grabbed a loose, red-hot metal grate designed to cover the vent, a piece of iron weighing nearly 400 pounds. To the aliens, it was an immovable object. To Leo, it was a shield. He slammed the glowing metal grate into the Kragan's face. The heat seared the beast's sensitive sensory organs, blinding it momentarily. The creature thrashed wildly, its acid spit dissolving the obsidian sand around Leo's boots. "Come on, ugly!" Leo yelled, dodging a tail swipe that would have leveled a building. "You're big but you're dumb." Leo knew he couldn't punch through the Kragan's armor. He needed leverage. He needed to break it. He ran towards one of the spinning blade traps, a massive rotating column of razor-sharp steel. The blind, furious Kragan chased him, guided by the sound of his boots. At the last second, Leo slid under the trap's gears. The Kragan, unable to stop its momentum, slammed its front right leg directly into the spinning blades. The sound of chitin and bone being ground into paste filled the arena. The beast shrieked in agony, collapsing onto its side. It was crippled but not dead. Its massive neck flailed, trying to bite Leo in half. Leo saw his opening. The armor plates on the Kragan's neck had gaps, small seams where the biomechanical joints flexed. Leo saw a jagged piece of obsidian rock protruding from the arena wall, a shard about 4 feet long, sharp as glass. He ripped it from the wall with a grunt of effort that bulged the veins in his neck. He climbed the thrashing, screaming beast, holding onto its scales like a rodeo rider on a tectonic plate. He reached the neck joint. "This is for the hauling crew," Leo growled. He raised the obsidian shard and drove it down into the gap in the armor with all the force of a high-G pile driver. He didn't stop at one thrust. He hammered the shard in again and again, severing the massive nerve cluster beneath the plates. The Kragan Prime let out one final, gurgling roar, shivered violently, and then slumped dead onto the arena floor. Leo slid down the side of the mountain of meat. He stood in the center of the colosseum, his chest heaving, covered in blue alien blood and black dust. He raised the bloody obsidian shard toward the Game Master's box. The Colosseum, which held 10 million screaming spectators, was dead silent. They weren't just looking at a winner. They were looking at something impossible. A small, soft creature from a backwater planet had just brute-forced their gods into extinction. High Game Master Valerius looked at the betting screens. The house had lost trillions. The entire economy of Gera had just crashed because they underestimated a human's ability to refuse to die. "Get him out of there," Valerius ordered, his voice trembling. "Send him back to his ship. Pay him whatever he wants. Just get that thing off my planet." Leo walked out of the arena not as a slave but as a legend. The human crew was released, their cargo holds filled with enough credits to buy their own moon. As the Terran tug lifted off from Gera, the Galactic Council issued a new travel advisory regarding humanity. It wasn't a warning about our technology or our fleets. It was a warning about our biology. "Attention all systems, do not engage humans in physical contests. Their appearance is deceptive. They hail from a Class 5 death world. What they consider survival is what the rest of the galaxy considers an apocalypse. If you put them in a cage, you are not trapping them. You are trapping yourself in with them." Humanity had proven the ultimate physical HFY truth. We might look small. We might look soft. But we were forged in a gravity well that tries to crush us every day of our lives. And when you take the weight of the world off our shoulders, we don't just float. We fly, and we hit like a falling star. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Never bet against the house, unless the house is fighting a human. If you enjoyed this gladiatorial smackdown, hit that like button. Comment below, what Earth animal would you bring as a partner into an alien arena? Subscribe for the next frontier, the 10% solution. The arena is empty. The legend is born.